Yeah, they create a war. And part of that reset is like they put in a leader, which is going to be a puppet, right?
Yes.
And that's
Accomplish your mission.
exactly. Well, next.
You just kind of hinted about that is taxes. Next, you start hearing, oh, let's increase taxes on the super rich. Oh, let's do X type of taxes. Oh, let's find another way to tax your groceries, or increase taxes on take away taxes from your gas bills, but then transfer the taxes to your education. They always come up with another way, but the taxes do creep up. For example, mortgage taxes. My taxes has gone up by maybe almost 7% because apparently the value of my house went up. So they are taxing me.
Adjusted the taxes.
Yes. So they are taxing me on an appreciation that I cannot use.
You know what?
It's a broken.
So that is like just to make sure I'm understanding correctly, and for anyone who's so that would be the equivalent of saying, hey, you just bought this stock at $5. Even though you have not sold the stock and you cannot make any profits from it, we'll go ahead and that's the first part of it, right? We'll go ahead and tax you for it right now, even though you've not sold it. And since it's increasing in value, we're going to increase the amount of taxes that we're going to be charging you for it because it's going up in value, even though you have not sold yet.
Then they tell you to invest in real estate. While the banks are also getting richer on the interest rates on the house.
I see a lot of people on social media talking about this strategy where you can buy a house and then sell it in 3 to something years or so. And
after 2 years, you don't get the taxes. But that's if the value of the house appreciates.
Yeah. But then if you sell that house, you might not be able to get into another house because other houses are now way more expensive.
All the interest rates have gone up as well.
That's a genjutsu.
No, it's a genjutsu. It's also a strategy of living in the fiat system. Everybody's playing one another.
Yeah. Well, listen, you better be good at gymnastics if you want to fight at gymnastics.
The fiat system forces you to
try to juggle
many things, move assets around so that you can stay ahead of the inflation or the taxes. But this is why we'll talk about being stuck in that reset button, because they can reset you at any time.
Yeah.
I'll give you a good example.
Yeah.
Florida.
Right.
Everybody moved to Florida during COVID. What if I tell you that house prices in Florida are crashing right now? Getting reset.
Why are the house prices crashing?
People are moving out of Texas. Moving out of Florida. Companies are requiring people to come back to the office now. Cost of living is going up in Florida because of, guess what? A house cleaner for a super big mansion is asking for $200K, $250K.
A huge mansion?
If you're maintaining a house in Florida, you have to pay the house helper, the house cleaner.
Oh yeah. The homemade.
Yes.
They're asking for $200K. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Jesus Christ. You know, I think these are just the signs of everything that is wrong with fiat.
Hyperinflation, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing hyperinflation. And speaking of hyperinflation, the next thing is this fuel shortage. It seems this is manufactured inflation.
Yes.
Talk to us about this one.
OPEC story. Oh, let's go green energy.
Yeah.
Next story is, oh, we don't have enough oil in the reserve. One story after the other.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, oil prices are going up. The oil companies are getting richer. Again, you are stuck in that reset button.
Yeah, this is the part that blows my mind. You know, the US has enough oil, right? You can mine, fracking, whatever, to keep things running and to be able to maintain low fuel prices for the Americans. This is how Trump was able to achieve low fuel prices during his term. Okay. And then you have another, you have the Democrats who roll in and literally took action to stop the flow of fuel, flow of natural resources within your own country to your own people, thereby making it more expensive, right?
And then go and blow up people up in the Middle East.
Exactly.
To take their oil. or tell Africans that they cannot
Yeah.
refine their
They
oil.
cannot refine
They
the
must
oil.
bring it to your country to refine it so that you
Yes.
can sell it back as the end product.
Make that make sense. Make that shit make sense.
Reset.
Okay. Massive migrant invasion. This is one that's
The greatest reset ever.
I've been trying to wrap my mind around. What
It's
is
the
this
greatest
about?
reset ever.
How so?
The Black Americans are starting to awaken to the Democrats' madness.
Which, by the way, yeah, I don't deserve reparations.
That's the
Carry on.
video you said we should make. No,
Yeah, but carry on.
it's we are the same family, but
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
right.
right? They have done this in Europe. They're doing it in Europe right now. They
Mhm,
did that in South Africa, right?
mhm.
They did that when they brushed in the Irish Americans in the early days of America,
Right.
right?
I remember this.
They bring in a lot of citizens from another country once the current low class citizens are starting to get awoken.
Hmm.
So that they're no longer a voting class or no longer a class that impacts the economy.
So essentially, the people are getting too smart for their manipulation.
Replace them.
And so they have to replace that population.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is that these same people were becoming too smart for their manipulation on the political scale are not wising up to the manipulation that is happening in the financial sector as well. Otherwise, they'll be buying Bitcoin.
The Irish, the Polish, African Americans. I mean, by the way, did you
Yeah.
know that there were actually Asian, like Chinese Americans
Mhm.
in America that they also had to get replaced?
Oh, really?
That was the Japanese in America. They tried
Oh,
to enslave them.
wait. I remember, because there was this at least in history class, right? They spoke
Yes.
about like the times when there was they had signs up like
Nobody
telling
talks about
Asians
that.
not to come in. Yeah, I remember this. I remember this. What did they call them? Back I think they were calling them chinks or something like that.
Exactly. That we have an history of
Mm,
Chinese
mm, mm,
Americans
mm,
in
mm.
America way before the 60s,
That is sure.
in the 1800s.
Yeah.
They actually tried Indians as well too, but that just didn't work out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they brought it was so bad that they were just shipped to the Caribbeans.
Yeah.
But they needed the African slaves to do the
Are you talking about
actual.
the native Indians in
No, the
America?
India, like India from Asia.
Oh, okay. The Asian Indians. Okay. I mean, it's difficult
That is why you have a lot of
to run
Indians.
circles around those people, man.
That's why you have the Indians and the Africans combined together in the Caribbeans a lot.
Oh,
Yes. So again, population displacement
yeah.
to accomplish what they want. They either kill out the Aboriginals,
Hmm.
bring in a new population for as much as it can work, and once
Yeah.
that doesn't work, get another big replacement to replace those ones that are not working. That is the systemic reset that they use.
Someone will listen to this and say, "Guy, you're coming with a conspiracy theory."
Go and read your history.
Yeah. Come on now. Or you can take this gold nuggets that you're getting from here.
I know I'm not giving you the exact details. I was such a history buff that was like freaking
Oh.
getting A pluses all over the place. The fact is this: look at your history.
Yeah.
Even the Romans did it. What you do to reset your population is you bring another external population in there so that you can continue to control them. Do you think that the current people that they've brought in through the borders will not vote on behalf of the Democrats?
They will. They will because they're letting them in. They're letting them in. And you see, they're changing the rules. This is why I say if
They're
these
the
guys can change the rules anytime, then you should probably be more flexible with your rules of life. Because listen, man, I think it is cool to be patriotic and all. But when the people that are supposed to be upholding your values have betrayed you, who are you being patriotic to? You know? Um, I think you're just being patriotic to an idea. But
I
here's
think
the
we
final thing here.
yeah.
And this is viruses. We know first of all that these people have an agenda of population reduction, if you will,
I'll give you a good
population
example.
control.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Ebola,
Oh, I remember
AIDS,
that.
Ebola, AIDS. They gave the African American men syphilis in the South. What were they trying to do? Replacement
Yeah.
or reduction of population. When it doesn't work, they implement another one.
COVID.
The reset button.
Yeah.
COVID was a reset button.
Yeah.
They could not whoop Trump's ass, so they had to implement a reset button. COVID was the answer. People are not saying this. You gotta pay attention.
This is what I think is different this time. But before I actually tell you what I think is different here, this is one thing that seems to be for sure. There is a specific group of people who are engaged in this sort of activities. Okay. We don't see the whole world going around trying to do the same thing. Okay. If you look at the people that are from the IMF and World Economic Forum
Mm-hmm.
and those types of groups who seem to believe
Seems
that they're smarter than the rest of the world.
they want to centrally control the rest
Yeah.
of the world.
But you see, when you engage in this type of things, you also participate in certain things that if the general public was to fully understand what was happening, the outrage would be extremely explosive. So, to try and maintain this, you have to keep doing these crazy things.
This is the chessboard right here. This is the strategy.
But this is where I think uh, this plan starts to uh, shake the rails, if you will.
Mm.
Social media, access of information or access to information to the general public, right? I think that unless these people can figure out a way to outrun social media,
They tried.
their days are counting for sure.
They tried. Look, I'll see what they're doing to Google. You
Yeah,
research Trump and it shows Kamala.
yeah,
You go before the current X,
yeah,
previous Twitter, they
yeah.
were controlling that. Yeah, it was just bullshit in a way. Facebook,
Heck, dude,
eh,
our YouTube videos, man, they just roll up and just hit the freaking bump. We're being censored.
we know.
Let us out. Okay. Um, Man, this is a very interesting situation, and this is really the reality that we are all dealing with. However, I want to point out something to you. This is also heavily just the West, because it seems to me that there are some regimes that are not interested in participating in these sort of things. Don't get me wrong, the West is continuously trying to push their influence out there. But I think that this is also why it is great that there is other forces out there like China and
China has its own problems. So they they
yeah.
they they implement a level of this, but I don't think at this list.
I mean, listen, China has its own problems, and I mean they're CBDC masters,
Hmm.
right? But you have China, you have Russia, right? You
Hmm.
have that. But and it does not necessarily mean that we have to agree with any of them. But I think the important thing is that these powers do not agree with each other on everything.
Hmm.
So even if we as a people cannot fight them fully, we know that there are things that maybe these people here in the West will be trying to implement that the Chinese were against. For example, Africa was something that was just totally being destroyed by the West. Essentially, the West was using Africa as their footmat, right?
They were using this entire agenda list, this entire chessboard
Exactly.
on the continent.
Now,
They still are.
they still are, right? But here's the thing. Now China is rolling into Africa and Russia is rolling into Africa. Does this mean that they're going to be the best thing for Africa? No.
No.
But it is bringing into the equation different variables that can also allow the Africans to maneuver differently. Because now there is a possibility for African nations to align with another power, whereby if the West tries to carry out some of the same tactics, you may be interfering with China's interests, which is now a problem between the West and China, which now puts Africa in a position where they can maybe achieve different things and maybe strategically place themselves in a place that is beneficial for them in the future. It is never ever direct. You have to kind of navigate the situation, and you might have to use one group against another. It is what it is.
That's what the
Given the
West does.
circumstance.
That's what the West does.
Yeah, exactly. Given the circumstance, right? I don't feel any type of way about it.
Talking about that,
Yeah.
not feeling a certain way about it. the best way to exit and not feeling a sudden way about it
Yeah,
is to control the money system that makes this possible.
exactly. Especially for your personal economy, your family's economy, is to be able to have money that is not overly influenced or controlled by these same entities. As you can see, they're all trying to come up with CBDCs and things like that.
Money that cannot be sanctioned.
Exactly. This is where Bitcoin comes in. There are many people right now living on a Bitcoin standard. This is enhancing their lives. All you have to do is to place yourself in a place that is favorable for you, where you can access your Bitcoin and use it in a way that is advantageous to you. But in order to do that and to even understand what that means, I think it means starting to understand money, how money works, and how you can protect your wealth and your value with something like Bitcoin. That's what I would say to that. Your thoughts?
Champions, we are here to
Mhm.
continue this education and to keep sharing this information.
Hallelujah.
I want to thank you for taking the time to watch. Please go ahead, like, and subscribe.
Mhm.
But do know out there that there is a system that can reset you at any time.
Hmm.
And the answer to that, to prevent yourself from being reset, is Bitcoin.
I'd like to go reset someone's mother.